What's up, guys? Welcome back to Toy Lips.
And what I have for you today...
This is the McFarlane Toys Designer Series Gunslinger Spawn with Horse. He comes in this gigantic package here that's mostly window. You can see where all the plastic is going. Figure looks kind of stupid in there, all sideways, but what are you gonna do? We feature all these other weapons prominently. Really nice artwork on the side, repeated in full glory on the back by Greg Capullo? More window on the side and on the top. You're going to find the rest of the relevant information and the barcode on the bottom. Let's get into it. And here is everything come right out of that box. Sometimes I video me unboxing it proper, but it's like these, the McFarlane ones especially, are pretty obnoxious. Like every individual joint on the horses, on every individual leg of the horse was wired in. It's like, come on now, dude. They're the nice simple ones, the little plastic, you just cut it. But you gotta have sharp implements, patience, you gotta be all over the thing. You can't even pull the inner tray out of the thing because it's wired to this big cardboard back. I don't necessarily have a better answer, I'm just saying, it's really obnoxious. Roland of Gilead was... No, I'm kidding. Jeremy Winston was hanged for treason, but a deal with the devil allowed him to return as the hellspawn of the American West. As a hellspawn, Winston manipulates spiritual energy. Basically a bunch of green goo that murders everybody. Anything else the plot allows. There's going to be lots of guns involved too. It's a Spawn comic. This dude was also the buddy of Al Simmons' great-grandfather. Getting closer to the figure itself, I think he looks really nice. I had kind of walked past the single release way back because I thought it was kind of silly looking, but out of the package, this is great stuff. All the fantastic detailing that you're used to from a McFarlane figure, and the, plain paint as well. Though there is a lot of it, and there's unique pouches and things painted with different levels of detail, and you still get paint detail on the back too. This is so there's that. It looks very similar to the standalone Gunslinger release. I don't have that figure. I can't verify. They may have updated the articulation in the legs at the very least to ride the horse. Probably the whole getup, the Gunslinger title, takes inspiration from Stephen King's The Dark Tower, yeah? If you guys haven't read that, I would highly recommend it. It's a 7-book series that he wrote over a period of decades. So cool. So it's like a nice clean sort of Spawn torso underneath here, wearing some brown pants. Really nice boots, more sculpted spikes and spurs and things all over those. Peg holes on the bottoms of those while we're down there. But then over that, you get all these pouches. These are separate pieces glued in. The belt as well, but it seems to be like glued or pegged right here into the center. Looks really nice. I've put these big ornate revolvers in there just for display purposes while we're looking at it. And then this nice jacket that's sculpted with a certain level of flair. How they do, that's kind of hit and miss. I'm liking where this one's at. Sweet faded old coat. More detailing, of course, would be nice, but it's not quite how they do. They get the sculpt there for you, and they get the paint halfway. You know what I mean? And you're surprised by extra things, little dry brushes or washes or things in here and there. Something going on with the bracer here. Soft spikes. And softly molded hands, too. That's a win. They haven't found their way to the nice pinless technology yet. But overall, I think this is a really nice looking figure. And package deal, let's get a look at that horse. Really nicely sculpted. Look at the eyes on that sucker. Face and the bridle, all these pieces all over it here with the various levels of detail, extra paint on the buckles. That's awesome. Big old Spawn logos worked into the thing. More skulls. Ornately carved saddle. Kind of a softer piece with softer pieces still. Stirrups. You can see already it's going to have that weird lateral articulation scheme. No peg holes on the hooves.
Check out my hooves!
No wash in the mane or tail or any of that. But this is soft, and it's all just sculpted really, really well. Saddlebags, bedroll, reins. Look at that, it's all braided. We've sculpted all this braiding in there. That's so cool. Little horse lip. Not mad about the horse at all. Quick look at the accessories. It's just a few kicking firearms. Start here with this big old Gatler. Really nicely sculpted. Once again, man, that's just how they do. More skulls, more spikes. Gatling gun. And you see a couple of points to hold that sucker. Look at how freaking cool this is. How intricate the details are. There's another little Spawn skull logo thing there. And then the revolvers. Look at the engraving on the handles. All of it. There's even something there too. And you get a pair of them. They seem a little oversized. Dark Tower mythology. It's, you know, after the collapse and restart of civilization, and the only guns that have survived pretty much are these old ornate revolvers that are just really well made. And that's what I think is depicted here, right? Look how awesome that is. Again, detailing is heavy, but the paint is light. But they look to be painted all around, too, unless they were cast in brown, because this is kind of metallic. Little metallic flake. Those are great. These are great. I would like to see somebody, you know, hit these with a nice wash or something. A nice black wash over them, I think, would be cool. But, and, of course, like we've seen, the figure can store these, and he can use these. Also, I just discovered you can just yank the horse's head right out. It just pops right in here like that. It's got little ratchets, so it'll stay. But then that allows you to just sort of peel this whole piece off of it. Look at that. And you have horse, part of a horse. This isn't gonna come though. At some point, yeah, a lot of this appears to be glued down, and it runs through the mane there. Oh, this is a peg. Look at that. Yeah, that's just a little peg right there. How friggin' cool. Going over the articulation. Okay. So the head is just on a little dumbbell joint, socket at each end into the neck and head. So you get a whole bunch of rotation, tilt down this far, back of this far, between the coat and the hat. I mean, that's not too bad. I guess it's really not much of anything, but still pretty free rein the way they've set that in there. Ball jointed shoulders, they come up to a nice T, they rotate all the way around. I think I feel those funny little cups in there. Yes, you do have that. It's like, it's not really a butterfly, but it's something. Oh, they also come out really easily. We do have a bicep cut that'll rotate all the way around. Double jointed elbows, collapse pretty nicely up this far. Standard ball joint on the wrists, so they'll do whatever you want them to, but it's very finicky. He's got a diaphragm cut here at the torso. It will rotate on that, but it doesn't really do much of anything else. It doesn't move forward or back very far or side to side. It does have a waist cut, though. That'll rotate all the way around. I think that's just ball jointed down into the bottom here. Hinged thighs, how we do. Let you come way out this far. Back and forward this far. And they get a pretty good twist on those as well, almost like an upper thigh cut. Which is interesting, too, because we actually have lower thigh cuts. How about that? I think, like I said before, I think there's a little extra maybe for the horse. Double jointed knees, and they come back this far. A lot going on with the boots, so that's pretty cool. You get that much out of it. And then down here, it's just a ball jointed ankle. So again, it'll do whatever, but it's just kind of fiddly. Toe tick, and that's that. It's actually pretty well articulated, and it all works pretty well, except for the diaphragm cut here. That's just bizarre. You'll see in a lot of the pictures, too, he looks like he's standing really bow-legged, and that was my worry, but I had already pre-ordered this so long ago. I was like, well, whatever. And it's actually fine. He can super bow-leg, but he can also have normal leg, too. There are a lot of joints and a lot of movement there. For the horse friend, the head is actually on some kind of large ball up here as well. So it will rotate all the way around. Mind the rigging. Looks down a little, back a little more. You run into the mane there. It's got this crazy neck hinge that'll come down this far, and you can see it there. It'll ride back on it that far. Just has sort of a groove there. Nothing in the body of the horse proper. Since we're here, the tail is on a ball joint, so that'll rotate and articulate different ways there. But it's the legs here that we really want to get a look at. And you can see they just sort of have these slots here, front and back. It's just like lateral movement largely. Back this far, forward this far on the back leg, forward this far, back this far on the front leg. Not much, but they're ratcheted for support because they're just sticks, you know what I'm saying? But we do get all the appropriate joints. And again, they ratchet, they move around, and when we get down here to the ankle portion, this one actually has some side to side on it. So you could splay this out a little bit. I can understand from the upper legs you didn't want it to, maybe just, you didn't want to be able to destabilize the thing too easily, so that helps there. But back here, these will come in this far. Yeah. Back like that. But a similar deal where you have this nice sort of molded ankle joint. So I guess the newest, hottest articulation is on the horse here, the newest piece. Those are nice. You can kick those out to the side a little bit for support, different poses. I think the rigidity of it, you can do, you know, yeah. Pretty good for a horse. Pretty sturdy, pretty horse-like. So checking the height, the Gunslinger spawn is about 8 3/8 of an inch. And the horse is very nearly the same to the top of the ears. Rocking some comparisons, here he is next to the Mortal Kombat 11 spawn. Gunslinger's a little taller, probably thanks to the heeled boots. And here he is next to the Clown from the Spawn series proper. Check out my review right here. Here they are next to Batman in a coat. Probably need some special legs to ride that horse though. How about next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends Wolverine in a coat? These are, of course, scaled an inch shorter. Checking him against some other 6-inch figures, here's the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper. The recently reviewed Mezco 112 Collective Wolverine, which does run a hair over his rated scale, but hey, don't we all? And finally, a McFarlane Toys standard 7-inch size comparison with the worthy Wonder Woman. She can ride that horse, wear that hat, shoot those guns, whatever she wants, man. Whip my weight in Wildcats. Whip my weight in Wildcats. So at the end of the day, what's the guy think that passed on the single release of this figure and has not yet put together his Batman horse? Some first experiences here from McFarlane Toys for me. I thought the Gunslinger looked kind of silly in the single card, and maybe even more so on the packaging in the thing with the horse all sideways like that. But what are you going to do? We're all excited by the prospect of a horse, right? A 6-inch scale would be cooler, but here we are, we're living in Todd's world. And as usual in Todd's world, the sculpting is fantastic, but stuff tends to be like half painted. Not a lot different here in that regard. I think this Gunslinger honestly looks great. I've been staring at him in the package for days thinking, you know what, are we just being taken for a ride, handing us these big awful hunks of plastic and taking all our money? But you know what, Todd's stuff has been the most reasonable price-wise of all, and it's like, it's always going on sale. You know what I'm saying? I just bought like 10 Multiverse figures over the last, because they were all on sale, you know? And I think stuff like that is to be rewarded. Of course, these are far from perfect. But when we're all looking real hard at what Hasbro is doing, like perceived blunder after blunder, I mean, they're all businesses, but we should be getting some too. You should feel like you're getting a good value. That's going to vary person to person. I think the Spawn with the horse, this is a good deal. Maybe not as good a deal as the Batman with the monster truck for the same price as this, but it ain't $350 for a toy car and an unlockable librarian queen. But he comes with several guns in a time where that's sort of going out of fashion, and an entire horse. The detailing all over that horse's saddle and tack and all of that is really, really well done. The articulation, as it has lately on a lot of the McFarlane stuff, it gets better than ever. The legs are out of sight, man. They're like a fully articulated human all on their own. I don't know why that diaphragm cut doesn't work. I'm not that surprised from McFarlane, though. What I am surprised to find is myself reviewing articulation on like a friggin' horse toy right here. And I am enjoying it. I was bummed by the idea of the lateral leg movement, but it's working pretty well for me, to be real. I think for what you get in this package, $50 is a pretty good deal. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go for cheaper. Who am I to be pre-ordering these McFarlane toys? You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to support. I want to support the companies that seem to be trying to hook us up. And I want to be there for all of you as well, buying this stuff, reviewing this stuff, spreading the word about at least what I think. I have long been a Spawn fan and long been a McFarlane Toys fan. Again, while these aren't perfect, I think that if you're even mildly interested, you won't be disappointed. Also, I pour my heart into this stuff. I love being here, and I want to be a better resource for the community. Leave a like if you thought any of this was helpful or fun. It encourages me to continue doing this, and let this video play all the way to the end. It shows YouTube that this is a worthwhile endeavor. And that, along with the engagement from the comments and subscribing to my channel, really helps support this whole thing. Thank you guys again so much for being here. Long days and pleasant nights.